Hello friends. Today we are here to discuss about planning. So let's get started. Planning. So let's start with the definition of planning. Planning is a process of deciding when, what, where and how to do a certain activity before starting to work. And according to various people or scientists, they have coined various definitions that is related to planning. So let's get started. So, as per Theo Heyman, planning is deciding in advance what is to be done. And according to JP Barger, planning is an ability to visualize a future process and its results. And planning is an intellectual process of conscious determination of actions, decisions, and considered estimates. This definition was coined by Coons and O'Donnell. And next comes the concept of planning. So, planning is based on the theory of thinking before acting. Planning is an integral part of our life. We make plans in each and every step of life, whether it is to be for go to school or to buy household goods during shopping. We make plans according to the limitations of our budget and resources to get maximum satisfaction and to fulfill goals from our activities. Types of planning. Types of plans. So, according to types of plans, there are four types. First one is breadth, second one is time frame, third one is specificity, and fourth one is frequency of use. And let's get started with breadth. In breadth, there are two types. One is strategic, and second one is operational. So, let's get started with strategic planning. Strategic planning. Strategic plan is a plan which is formulated by top level management for a long period of time of up to 5 years or more. They decide the major goals and also the policies to achieve their goals. It takes in a note of all external factors and risks involved and makes a long term policy of the organization. It involves the determination of strengths and weakness, external risk, missions, and control systems to implement plans. And next is operational. Operational plans are the plans which are formulated by the lower level management for a short term period of up to 1 year. It is concerned with the day to day operations of the organization. It is detailed and specific. It is also usually based on the past experiences. It usually covers functional aspects such as production, finance, and human resources, etc. And next comes the time frame. In this time frame, there are two concepts that is long term and short term. So let's get started with long term. Long term plan. Long term plan is the plan that process the business owners to use to reach their business mission and vision. It also determines the path for business owners to reach their goals. It also reinforces and make corrections to the goals as the plan progresses. And next comes the short term. Short term plan. Short term plan involves plans for a few weeks or at most a year. It also allocates resources for day to day business development and management within the strategic plan. Short term plans also gives the outline objectives which is necessary to meet intermediate plans and the strategic planning process. And next comes the specificity. Specificity, it includes directional and specific. So let's get started with directional. Directional planning. Directional planning. Directional plans are flexible plans that set out general guidelines. Such plans are preferable in a dynamic environment where management must be flexible in order to respond to unexpected changes. Let's take an example of directional plan. For example, the sales manager provides a guideline to his subordinates to the expected target and now how subordinates will achieve that it's up to them. They are free to opt for any mode of practice. Hence, we can say that the directional plans are outcome focused. And next is specific. Those plans which are clearly defined, objectives, and leave no room for interpretation are called specific plans. Such plans require specific stated objectives and do not contain ambiguity. Let's take an example of specific plan. The production manager briefing the plan to his subordinates as to what, when, where, how much, and by whom task will be performed. Hence, from the above situation, we can come to a conclusion that the specific plans are process focused. And last comes the frequency of use. Frequency of use includes single use and standing. So let's get started with single use. Single use plan. Single use plans apply to activities that do not recur or repeat at the same time in the future. A one time plan, which is relevant for a specified time and after the lapse of the time, these plans are formulated again according to the situation for the next period. Let's take an example of single use plan. Single use plans typically include organizational programs, projects, budgets. A budget is also a single use plan because it predicts sources and amounts of income and how much they are used for a specific project. Standing. Standing plans are ongoing plans because they mainly focus on organizational situations which occur repeatedly. Standing plans include policies, standard procedures, rules, and regulations of the organization. Let's take an example of standing plan. Rules and policy of any organization are good examples of standing plan. It is because it provides a guideline for the course of action taken in the company to achieve organizational goal. All members need to strictly follow these guidelines all the time. Planning process. The planning process includes setting the objectives, develop premises, determine and evaluate alternatives, selection of best alternative, formulation of a derivative plan, budget formulation, implementation of a plan, follow-up action, and last is analysis of the environment. Importance of planning. First one, planning provides direction. Second, planning reduces the risk of uncertainty. Third, planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activity. Fourth, planning promotes creativity and innovative ideas. 5. Planning facilitates decision making. 6. Planning establishes a standard for controlling. Next comes the limitations of planning. In limitations of planning, first one is rigidity. So let's get started with rigidity. Rigidity. The plans are rigid in nature and have to be complied with thorough throughout the organization. I repeat, the plans are rigid in nature and have to be complied with throughout the organization. Such rigidity of plans may be internal as well as external. Internal rigidity relates to plans, policies, programs, rules, and methods, etc. External rigidity relates to political, industrial, technological, legal, and economic changes, etc. And next comes planning may not work in a dynamic environment. In this, the environment in which a business survives is dynamic as it keeps on changing. It is difficult for an organization to access future trends, the taste of customers, natural calamity, competitors, policies, and effects of changes in the different components of the environment. Planning reduces creativity. Planning is mostly done by the top management and other members. Like middle and lower levels of management have to follow these plans. They also can't deviate or change the plans made by their seniors. Such rigidity to comply with the laid plans kills the creativity of some talented persons. Planning involves huge cost. Formulation of plans can be too much costly because there is a lot of time and money that is involved. Some costs are incidental in nature, like expenses on boardroom meetings, discussions with professional experts, preliminary investigations to find out the feasibility of the plan. Checking the accuracy of facts and scientific calculations may involve a lot of time. Sometimes, costs incurred may not justify the benefits derived from the plan. It may leave a harmful effect on the enterprise. Planning is time consuming. Planning is a very lengthy process as it consumes a lot of time for collection, analysis, and interpretation of data. Due to such a lengthy process, sometimes decision gets delayed. Opportunities are lost and there is not much time left for the implementation of plans. Planning does not guarantee success. The success of an enterprise is possible only when plans are properly drawn up and implemented. Plans also become meaningless if it is not translated into action. Managers have a tendency to rely on previously tried and tested successful plans. It is also not necessary that a successful plan in the past will bring success in the future, which also has, as every business organization survives in a dynamic and uncertain environment. Plans must be implemented in the light of changing environment, otherwise it may lead to failure of the business. Thank you.